Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. Just a reminder 12 Tribes on Earth is having a sale starting on Friday through the 27th, 40% off of all hair products. If you're going on Etsy, the Most High New Year 26 is the promo. Same for Shopify, and the discount comes off automatically on TikTok Shop. All right. All right, y'all. Donald Trump, you know, he really represents his community. He really is the embodiment of it. Despite the fact that this man has been losing in Iran, he still has a lot of ego, still have a lot of pride, still believe he is invincible. And y'all, I am seriously waiting for them to take the entire war out of the media. I'm serious. I really believe that's what the goal is going to be. They're going to take it completely out because one thing about Donald Trump, he don't like to lose. And right now he is losing and the entire world can see his loss. He's still attempting to get on TV and say, we're winning, we're winning. Even he knows he's lying. He knows he's lying. So that pride is still deeply embedded in Donald Trump, which means the Most High has not humbled him yet. Not yet. But it's definitely coming. So I want y'all to hear the way Donald Trump is talking about taking Cuba and he can do whatever he wants. It is just astonishing, the arrogance that's in this one person. You would think well, I guess people like him has no shame. He is a white male in America, and they do walk around believing they own the world. Everything belongs to them. And this is exactly the way Donald Trump is talking when it comes down to Cuba. Y'all know the island no longer have electricity. They said they have suffered a complete power grid failure. So when it gets dark, the entire island is now out. And Donald Trump has also been starving those people, you know. But when you go back and look at the history, because, Donald Trump is always talking about regime change as if people would not like to see him gone. And y'all, when you really study the history, whenever the United States changed a regime somewhere else at the end of the day, it never has been a good thing. Never. There's not one instance where there was a regime change that the United States pushed and it turned out to be a big success. It has never happened, not even one time. Mm-mm. Even when they put their puppet government in, those places still tend to collapse. So I want y'all to hear what he has to say. Seriously, spoken like a colonizer, for real. All right, y'all. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. I mean, remember, this is the same man that can't get one single country to come out there and help him fight off Iran. Ugh, unbelievable. Thank you, everybody.
Taking Cuba. Taking Cuba in some form, yeah. When will the United States do it? I do believe I'll be the honor of having the honor of taking Cuba. That'd be good. That's a big honor. Taking Cuba. Taking Cuba in some form, yeah. Taking Cuba. I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth? They're a very weakened nation.
Cuba, a country that President Trump said he expects to have the honor of taking, as he put it yesterday, adding today that the U.S. will be doing something about Cuba very soon. Meanwhile, the U.S. cut off Cuba's access to Venezuelan oil, and since then, the country has seen rolling blackouts and protests, too. Reporter Juan Paulup is in Havana with more. Juan, good evening.
Good evening, Tony. Here in Havana, there is little fuel left. Transportation is limited, and very few public services are available.
And now, once more, no power across the island. The nationwide blackout yesterday is still keeping much of the country in the dark. In a nation used to hardship, Cubans say the situation has never been worse. Hundreds of protesters have taken to the streets in Havana and in cities like Moron, where last Friday demonstrations turned violent.
We'll be doing something with Cuba very soon.
Meanwhile, President Trump is ramping up the pressure, stating that it would be an honor to take over Cuba.
On the island, Tony, many are just pleading for an end, whatever comes next.
Juan, thank you very much.
I think Cuba, I don't know, it's in its own way, for tourism and everything else, it's a beautiful island, great weather. They're not in a hurricane zone, which is nice for a change. They won't be asking us for money for hurricanes every week. But I think Cubans see the end. All my life I've been hearing about the United States and Cuba. When will the United States do it? I do believe I'll be the honor of having the honor of taking Cuba. That'd be good. That's a big honor. Taking Cuba. Taking Cuba in some form, yeah. Taking Cuba. I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth? They're a very weakened nation right now. They were for a long time.
Trump is in the Oval Office today on Monday, March 16th, saying that he can very well take Cuba. It will be his honor to take over Cuba, and that he can very well do what he wants with Cuba. Today it was known on Monday, March 16th, that Cuba's electrical grid totally collapsed. And this is due to the United States sanctions limiting their oil supply to keep their power plants running. And he's in the Oval Office stating that he can do what he wants with Cuba. This is not normal. Nothing this man does is normal. How come we haven't seen the impeachment come about yet? Nothing this man does is normal. It's not normal behavior at all.
Well, Cuba right now is in very bad shape. They're talking to Marco, and we'll be doing something with Cuba very soon. We're really focused on this, but we're dealing with Cuba. Marco, do you want to say a couple of words about it?
Yeah, I mean, Cuba has an economy that doesn't work and a political and governmental system that can't fix it. So they have to change dramatically. What they announced yesterday is not dramatic enough. It's not going to fix it. So they've got some big decisions to make over there.
But Secretary Rubio, do you support, and I know this is up to Congress, but do you support easing the trade embargo if you get more cooperation from them?
Well, I'm not going to discuss what we would talk about or not. Suffice it to say that the embargo is tied to political change on the island. The embargo is codified. And but the bottom line is their economy doesn't work. It's a non-functional economy. It's an economy that has survived. That revolution. It's not even a revolution. That thing they have has survived on subsidies from the Soviet Union and now from Venezuela. They don't get subsidies anymore, so they're in a lot of trouble. And the people in charge they don't know how to fix it. So they have to get new people in charge.
I think Cuba, I don't know, in its own way, for tourism and everything else, it's a beautiful island, great weather. When will the United States do it? I do believe I'll be the honor of having the honor of taking Cuba. That'd be good. That's a big honor.
Taking Cuba.
Taking Cuba in some form, yeah. Taking Cuba. I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth? They're a very weakened nation right now. They were for a long time. I do believe I'll be having the honor of taking Cuba. That'd be good. That's a big honor.
Taking Cuba.
Taking Cuba in some form, yeah. Taking Cuba. I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth?
Listen, when I began the show today talking about Donald Trump's performance yesterday being the most dangerous and scary and diminished cognitively, it wasn't a joke. Yesterday, when he talked about this Cuba thing that you've likely seen headlines about, maybe even seen the clips, I've got two here that I'm going to play for you. I was taken aback. I was shocked, even from Donald. This is a shocking thing. Not just the words that he spoke, but his slurring, sleepy, just out of it. He's not attached to reality. I was going to say he's not attached to the same reality we are, but there is no other. This is it. This is what we got. And Donald Trump is just talking as though he is an emperor type, that he is a heralded conqueror of civilizations. Talking about Cuba, he's going to take Cuba. Refuses to answer any follow-ups. While he's slurring his way through, it would be an honor to take Cuba. It would be an honor. Cuba is no threat to the United States. But the case that they're trying to make about Iran, even though they claim they decimated, obliterated, blew it to smithereens, ended any potential for a future nuclear program in Iran, that was supposed to be the justification, yet none of it makes any sense. That same thing can't be said about Cuba, as their power grid goes completely down yesterday in the wake of the comments from Donald Trump. I mean, it's just, what are we going to do with Cuba? We're just going to invade it because we don't like them, because we don't like their form of government, we don't like their leaders. This is scary. The fact that no one is saying what they should be saying about Donald Trump, especially in the Republican Party, the party filled with just bootlickers and sycophants, just people who look the other way, knowing the dangers that are posed to the American people because of our sundowning lunatic in the Oval Office. Watch this. If you have not seen this moment, brace yourself for maybe the most batshit moment of anything you've seen from Donald Trump.
I was just with a fantastic person who's Cuban and made a fortune in sugar, Fanjul family, right? And this family wants to go back to Cuba to visit it. They haven't been back in like 50. Taking Cuba, that'd be good. That's a big honor.
He has lost his mind. This is what Donald Trump, the president of the United States and commander-in-chief of the largest armed forces in the world, had to say the other day.
I do believe I'll be having the honor of taking Cuba. That'd be good. That's a big honor.
Taking Cuba.
Taking Cuba. Whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth?
And I think to really understand the gravity of these words, you have to put it in the right political and historical context. Because historically, you have to remember that guy back in Germany in the 1930s, he didn't take over Austria and annex it, and then Poland and then France by calling it a conquest. He justified his actions by saying, for example, that Austria had been stolen through the Treaty of Versailles, so Germany was reclaiming what was rightfully theirs, and he justified the invasion of Poland with the need for strategic security and the protection of the German people. And today, the policies of the Trump administration are no different. Venezuela was attacked under the guise of an international law enforcement operation. Iran was attacked for supposed security reasons, although Congress has been given no proof of any emergency. And now Cuba, which against every common sense rule of international law, Trump says he can do anything he wants with. And if you think that this is just locker room talk by an old man, think again. I covered it in another Substack article about this, but these are pages out of an official document which Trump created and presented to Congress just a few months ago called the National Security Strategy Document. And at some point, as a nation, we have to draw a line. Venezuela, Iran, now Cuba. This is not democracy. This is expansionism dressed as democracy, and it should have no place in the modern world.
I oppose Cuba. This is Tashi. Cuba also wants to make a deal, and I think we will pretty soon either make a deal or do whatever we have to do. We have a lot of great people that happen to vote for Trump. Doesn't that matter? It's like we have a lot of great people. Trump, Cuba, that matter. Violently and viciously thrown into the country, and worse, their families are killed. And so we're talking to Cuba. But we're gonna do Iran before you. What is President? People have been waiting 50 years to hear this story. When I left Palm Beach today, there were thousands of people that rode. I'm sure you saw that. And they were from Cuba and from Venezuela, all friendly, waving the flag out, waving the American flag. They've been waiting 50 years for what's happening with Cuba. So I think something will happen with Cuba pretty quick.
When you say Cuba is next,
Cuba.
is Cuba, whatever you do with the military there, seems like something. Will that look more like Iran or Venezuela?
Can't tell you that. I can tell you that they're talking to us. It's a failed nation. They have no money. They have no oil. They have no nothing. They have nice land. They have nice landscape. You know, it's a beautiful island. I think Cuba, I don't know, in its own way, if tourism and everything else, it's a beautiful island. Great weather. They're not in a hurricane zone, which is nice for a change. You know, they won't be asking us for money for hurricanes every week. But I think Cuba's the end. You know, all my life I've been hearing about the United States and Cuba. When will the United States do it? I do believe I'll be having the honor of taking Cuba. It'd be good honor. It's a big honor.
Taking Cuba.
Taking Cuba in some form, yeah. Taking Cuba. I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth? They're a very weakened nation right now. Taking Cuba. I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth?
President Trump says his administration is in ongoing talks with Cuba. NPR's Deepa Shivaram reports Trump is suggesting his administration could have a chance to take over the island.
In an event in the Oval Office, Trump called Cuba a, quote, failed nation. He said taking the country would be a, quote, big honor.
Taking Cuba in some form, yeah. Taking Cuba. I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth?
Trump has been saying for weeks that Cuba needs to make a deal with the U.S. or face consequences similar to the ouster of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. After seizing Maduro, the U.S. imposed a blockade on Cuba's oil supply from Venezuela. The island is facing a collapsed power grid and growing protests. Deepa Shivaram, NPR News, the White House.
I'm Corva Coleman, NPR News. For more of today's news, be sure to like and follow us or check out NPR News Now, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Earlier, U.S. President Donald Trump said he believed he would be able to, quote, take Cuba. He described it as a failed nation and said it was holding talks with the U.S.
You know, all my life I've been hearing about the United States and Cuba. When will the United States do it? I do believe I'll be having the honor of taking Cuba. That'd be good. That's a big honor.
Taking Cuba.
Taking Cuba in some form, yeah. Taking Cuba. I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth? They're a very weakened nation.
Also want to inform you guys, for those of you that don't know, anytime the United States has ever tried to attempt a regime change down in Cuba, they have literally failed. I think they've failed like 7 times now, but also when it comes down to a regime change, because we've talked about this on this page and everything, 9 times out of 10, when the United States gets involved inside a regime change or forces a regime change, it destabilizes that nation or that region for decades, literally decades. I mean, prime example, look at what took place after 9/11 happened and that regime change that was forced. So once more, you guys, not a shock that Donald Trump would go live on the air and indicate that Cuba's next.
And the funny part is Donald Trump can't even run the United States. He runs the United States into the ground. But we're supposed to believe he can handle Cuba. At this point, I think if you gave him Rhode Island, he would mess that up too. I mean, this man is not suitable for running businesses or a country. That's why it made me laugh when I would hear MAGA talking about Donald Trump was a businessman. Yeah, but he was a failed businessman. That's the part you leave out. He was a failed businessman. And he only wanted to be president to gain wealth. That's really it. Donald Trump don't care about anybody other than himself. And this Cuba thing, it's to gain wealth. He'll get Cuba and then all of a sudden everything down there will have the Trump name on it because that's what he wants. That's what he wants. He wants the Trump name everywhere. And that's all he's going to do. You know, it'll be Trump hotels and Trump resorts and Trump this and Trump that. At the end of the day, this man can't run anything. You know, that's why it made me laugh. Him of all people talking about everything is going to be merit based. So it's not even merit based when it comes down to your administration. Your administration, these are a bunch of inexperienced white people primarily, and you threw them in positions that they're unqualified for. But you're in front of the public talking about merit. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, yeah, and I'm sure he really does feel alone because nobody has seen or heard from Netanyahu. The only voice you hear coming out about the war really is Iran and Donald Trump. It's really no one else. Israel has gone silent. So, anyway, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. I do have another live that I'm still putting together, and we'll be doing that one at 1:45. So, I will see you then. Shalom, family.